Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Coming to you today, instead of the moorlands, we've ventured a little bit further out and recording today from the top of Moorlander. This is the folly that you can see over my shoulder at the top of Moorlander. If you're interested, I'll leave some information about Moorlander and the folly in the description below. But what we're here today to look at is the Snug Pak response pack and my views from testing it and what I think of it. I'll just adjust the camera so that you can see it a little bit better. So this is a new angle that I've never worked at before. We've had the top down, we've had the face on and all that sort of stuff. Now you get in the gut. It's the Snug Pak response pack waist pack. Lots of packs, lots to put in a pack. Okay, so quickly to go through some of the measurements. It's 36 centimeters by 16 centimeters by 14 centimeters. I forgot to check what that is in inches, but I think it's like 14 centimeters by 14 inches by 6 inches by 5 inches roughly. It weighs about, I think it says that it's 400 grams, which is 14 ounces. That sound about right? That's nearly a pound. I don't really work in old money, but I think that's about right. So to go round the pack, as I usually do, start round the front, back, sides and so on. So on the front we have some quite robust molle webbing. You can see that there are smaller slots that you can put more stuff into, and then there are large double slots behind those, as we've seen with a lot of different pouches that I've been testing out recently. And then you've got a buckle system, which I've passed through the behind these, which I've noticed a lot of people do. Not sure whether that's a feature to do that, but I'll get to the reasons why I find it's more useful to be able to do that. You then have a small compartment here. Now, to get into this compartment, you can get in through the top with the zips, or you can release this top handle, which I suppose would probably be useful if I do now from the top. These two buckles that do up on the front here come up to a really nice robust handle. All of the corners are box stitched. Everywhere else there's double stitching in there to make sure that this is pretty tough, and it really is tough. It's great for being able to lift stuff. I've not filled this, and the stuff that I've filled it with today isn't what you'd call a typical carry if you were out and about, but it's mainly for illustrative purposes so that you can see roughly how much you can get in here. So the grab handle on the top, really nice and strong. Two buckles which pop open quite easily. I'll just tuck that down there. You can get into this without opening those, but then what you end up is with this strange situation where this is over the top, it comes to here, and then you've got to pass that underneath and bring it down if you want to be able to get more out of it. But then if you're coming past here to zip these down so that you can open this and it's more of a butterfly opening, then really you're going to want to undo this anyway. So in the front here I've got a first aid pouch, but you can see in here that there are two front pockets and then there's a larger pocket at the back. The front pocket, if you've got an Altoids tin, it does fit, but because of the depth of it, hopefully you can see that, it doesn't go all the way down, so it's just a little bit too wide. Whereas I've been testing out some other little mint tins, and these fit in perfectly because there's less width on the side. The zips are, hopefully you can see this, these are massive zips. It doesn't say on them whether they're YKK. I've even been onto the Snug Pak website to see if I can find out, and it doesn't say anything on there whether they're YKK or not. But they are super strong, and they're nice and loose. Well, loose is the right word, but you know, they move very smoothly. Smoothly probably would have been the better word. Then on the sides, hopefully if I just turn like that you should still be able to see this. You have yet again two smaller molle loops with a larger loop behind there. So if you do have something that you can pass through the back, if you're using this for bushcraft, then you can put larger items through the back there as well. Each of these has a zip. All of the zips that I've gone through as well, hopefully you've been able to see that they're double zips. So if you try to do it from one way, or you like it so it's more of an ambidextrous opening, you can do, and that goes all the way through this pack. I've got dog bags in there because, being a responsible dog walker, but you can quite easily fit in a head torch on this side. Again, this is just for illustrative purposes really. Oh, okay, so I've got more dog stuff, and then you can fit a compass, Leatherman, and so on. So you can fit quite a bit in these and not have to worry that you're starting to run out of space. Then you come round to the main compartment itself, where again you've got double zips which opens up, and you've got a large section in there that you can put more kit into. As you can see, so if you had got a knife that you wanted to pass through there, you could do that as well. But in here it runs from there to there, which is that's about 9 inches, and it goes across. It's as deep as it, so you're still looking at that 16 centimeters in depth as well. It's made from a 600 denier material to keep it nice and strong and tough. It does feel strange though, I'm not going to lie. When I got this, my first impressions were that it didn't feel like a 600D. And I think that's where some of the things, when I'll get to the end, if there's certain things that I'd change about it, that's probably some of the things that I'd talk about. So the belt system itself, you can see attaches on both sides, as you'd expect. I'll see it would probably fall off. And then on the front, or at least what would be the back in this situation, you have a large buckle, which is nice and easy to do. The webbing is a nice 2-inch webbing, so you don't get any pinches. It doesn't, it doesn't pull into you, but you need to make sure that when you get it on, it's all nice and snug and in place. What you can also do is, if I take this off and put it back here, on the back you have 2 press studs, so if you want to put this through a belt, you can do. There is extra molle webbing on the back. These are all, on that side they are doubles, on this side they're doubles, and then they've got singles on the front, whereas this is a single front and back. What you can also do is, hopefully you can see in here, this is a section where you can stow away the belt. So with a little bit of folding, and hopefully you'll have heard, there's some hook and loop on the inside. On the outside of the belt here, you have some more hook and loop, so that when you open this and push it in, the hook and loop on the inside attaches to that bit as well, so it keeps it nice and compact. As I mentioned, the little grab handle on the top makes this perfect if you've got stuff in there that you just, you want to put it in your boot, you want to put it in the back of your car or in your truck and throw this around, you can do, and it's nice and tough. Okay, now as I've mentioned before, I don't feel that there are bad reviews. I feel that there are products that suit people and there are products that don't suit people. And this is possibly the first one that I feel just didn't suit me. And there's a couple of different things that I'll probably point out. Now, this doesn't mean that this is bad. Definitely doesn't mean. On paper, this is a great little waist pack, and if you look at all of the other reviews that are online and here on YouTube, you'll find that there are other very glowing reviews. The product itself is great, and it really is. I don't want to take anything away from that, but for the way that I use it, I just don't feel as though some of the features and some of the decisions that were made suit the way in which I would use this product. So the first things are things like the zip pulls. Nice little branded zip pulls, which are super tactile, so if you're out and about with gloves, you can easily grab hold of these and you can open everything up. The difficulty is though, there's so many of them. So you've got 2 on the front, 2 on the sides of each side, and then 2 on the top. What you find is that these knock against the bits of metal. If you've got anything on here, they hit against them. Notice that I said that I put these through the front. When these are through when these aren't tucked into that little molle loop there, what you find is as you're walking around, these hit on these, so you end up with this strange kind of rhythm of you walking with this little percussion in the background, these little tinks and tonks. Now, my first instinct was to take these off, but I wanted to make sure that I tested this, and I wanted to make sure that I could bring this to you so you could see it in its original state. You do see a lot of people that have straight away just took all of these off. It's just little, but I don't know. It was just something for me that I thought, no, I don't particularly like that. But it's something that you can very easily, and if I was to continue to use this, it's something that you can very easily overcome just by taking these off. Other things like the grab handle. Now the grab handle is great, and I can't think of any other way that you could attach it to this without coming across a similar problem that I have, and that is that for a lot of things, so to get into this one here on the front, first you've got to work out where your zippers are, so you need to maybe think of some sort of zip management system, which I don't know, do you always go left with these and right with the other ones? But you do get into that situation where if there's something big, you don't want to have to keep on doing the whole thing, that you've got to undo quite a bit because this handle's in the way. It's not a chore, you know. World War III is not going to happen because of this and where it is in the way, but it's just a fiddle. It's just a faff to get into things without having to undo everything. So there's some little bits. I've mentioned this before earlier as well. The construction of this is with 600D material, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it. If I read that it was 400 or 300, I'd feel it and I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, that feels about right. But it just doesn't feel 600. You find that you get a bit of rigidity to that, and with that rigidity you get that feeling that, you know, this is going to be strong and it's going to be hard lasting. I've not dragged this behind a car for 10 miles to see how hard wearing it is, but I think it just doesn't feel as hard wearing as I thought it would do. There's some extra little points around the manufacturing process. You'll find around the edges that some of the stitching has got bits frayed on it already. This was a brand new bag that was purchased at Christmas for me as a Christmas present, and it's already showing signs of wear and tear in the 3 months that I've had it, and I've been testing this. On the sides, was it this side? Here you've just got stray bits, whereas you'd find with other manufacturers that these would be cut off. You'd make sure that all of your box stitches was perfect. Inside, you find on some of the seams. I'm trying to find one now, but there is some in there. You find on some of the seams that they're just not as straight as you'd have expected. By the way, all the seams are reinforced as well, so they have put those details in there to make sure that the bag lasts as long as possible. But the main thing for me, and all of the other things that I've talked about here, these are just little things. The main thing for me, and again, this might be completely fine for you, doesn't necessarily mean that this is a bad pack, is the way that the belt is. So if I take this off for a second, I find, if you can see here, so there's the top and bottom, the belt and the weight through the belt, the balance, runs directly through the middle. So if I hold it like that and it's full, you've got equal weight either side of the belt. I generally find that I steer towards more so the bags where instead of having the belt so that the weight distribution of the belt goes straightly across the middle, I prefer it when they're up towards the top. It's just a different carry, and it's a different way. Here's some more of those strange little stitched bits. But it's just a different way that you carry it on you, and it's a different way that the bag sits. So I find, because, and this is obviously highly exaggerated, because it's on the front there and that's in the middle, you've got a fulcrum or a centre point here that it all revolves around. So when you're walking, I find I do get a lot of this. Whereas on some of the waist packs that I've tested out in the past, where the belt is slightly higher, because the weight then is further down compared to where this fulcrum is, or this turning point. I hope I'm using the correct word there. If fulcrum's not the right word, then I apologise to any engineers out there. But it's less of a chance that it's going to lift because it's further down and it's away from here. So I guess really you're weighing up the positives and the negatives. It's a great pack. Construction wise, it's well made. I think maybe this might be a one-off. I'd love to hear back from Snug Pak on this, to see if, you know, there have been some manufacturing errors on this, but I think for the weight that you can put and the amount that you can put in here, me personally, with these straps stowed away on the inside, I prefer to use this as just a grab bag. I can put this in my boot, I can have things in there so that if I haven't got my big bag with me, then I've got extra stuff in here that I can ditch a car and I can make it home. Other than that, you can also wear it if you want to, and just put that back up again. There's still enough waist belt that you can wear it as a cross the shoulder style pack or across the chest style pack, but you're also going to come across the same difficulty that I have, where the belt goes straight through the middle, so it feels like it's pulling it down like that, whereas if the belt was at the top, then you'd get that where it almost hangs from that rather than pivots on this. If there's anything that I'd change, I'm sure I've probably covered this, but I'd move that up. I'd definitely move that up. I think from the get-go you could probably save some money in the manufacturing process. Ditch these, they are very nice, but they just bang against too many things. I'd also look into your the people that provide the material. It just doesn't feel as high quality 600D material that I've tested out with other packs. I feel like this is a bit of a downer on this pack. I'm going to sit down for a second. It's definitely not a downer. It's a great little pack. It just doesn't suit how I would use it. However, you might find that because you can put a belt through there, you can use this on part of like a wall belt, or if you've got an extra suspension system, that it would perfectly suit you. And I think that's the best thing about these sort of things, this sort of content. It doesn't suit me, however, just going through this and telling you about it, you might find that there's things in there that do suit you. Sweet, so we're at that point at the end where don't forget to please like the video, those thumbs up really help. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're subscribing, make sure you hit the notification button so you can see as soon as my videos become live. I'm getting better at this, aren't I? And what was the other little bit? Share. Yes, I'm asking if anybody, if you possibly could, please, if we could start to share some of these videos now, that will help to spread out my tendrils, that will help me to build on my community, and then also I can get more feedback hopefully from the videos. Cool. Done. It's very windy up here today. Oh yeah, by the way, at the beginning of this video I showed me driving up this hill. So it's a very, very, very steep hill. It's only a mile, but it goes up, I think it's 500 feet in 1 mile, so it's very steep. And there's a run that happens here once a year called the Killer Mile, where people run from the bottom to the top. I've done it myself a few times. Oh my god, I can't believe I do it sometimes, and I can't believe I keep coming back every single year. But yeah, that's what that little video was for at the beginning. Cool. Stay safe, stay Moorlander, stay DC.